You may fire when ready.
Joshua!
Andrew!
What's up, Trev?
Yo. Hey, guys. How are you?
Welcome in to the Holochronicles, Episode 7. The Holochronicles Awakens. Yes!
Oh, dude. You've been waiting so long.
We made it. We made it. We made it.
We made it to 200 followers in the last week, Josh.
That's great.
Pretty friggin' sweet.
So-
We'll talk about that more
Nice.
in a bit.
We shall, but shout out to the BMB,
BMB!
our fellow collectors and Star Wars lovers. We just want to thank all you listeners and followers out there. Make sure that if you're listening for the first time, or if you just haven't done it yet, to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Holochronicles. You can find us there. And
Hey,
subscribe.
What's the website? Isn't there a website?
There is. Yeah, there's a website. It's holochronicles.com. I mean, we're everywhere.
We are
own
big.
Holochronicles.
Yes.
Is this the way it is?
Even if you misspell it, do we own
you'll
it?
get the because
You'll get there. We've got contingency plans.
Yeah, so subscribe, follow us. It helps. It's great. Man, what a fun week already, huh?
It's been, we had a little bit of snow
Yeah.
and
Little Hoth action going on.
a lot of rain.
Yeah.
There have been some developments in the Star Wars universe
As usual.
that I think we should get right into, Josh.
Let's
You
do
ready?
it.
Star Wars news!
All right, take it away, man.
It's a little bit of old news, but being confirmed this week, Rian Johnson does have a trilogy, Star Wars related. There's been no timeline established of when or what it's going to be about, but he's doing it.
Well, it's like renewed news because there was some posts, some very like accredited, according to their post, that it was off for Ryan. So to have the trilogy back on, even Ryan had to respond and say,
Right.
like, no, I don't know who these guys are. I forget the name of the
I think it was
site.
it
was like.
wasn't Barstool, it was something else. But
No.
anyway, I think that was more from the contingency of I hate episode 8.
Right.
And I think they wanted it to be true more than it was actually rumor.
Sure.
So, but it's happening.
Yeah.
It's
No,
happening.
I'm okay with it.
It
It doesn't matter because there's nothing to ruin. It's a new story and a new whatever. So
Yeah.
and I don't think that Ryan Johnson did anything.
see what you did
We'll leave it there. Twitter's enough for all that, so don't worry about it.
Also, if you've been following Anthony Daniels on Twitter lately, he has been kind of all over the place. He's been nonsensical, cryptic. A lot of people thought that he might be trying to sneak an
I
episode.
thought you were going to say drunk because it was a lot of
Well,
craziness
I
in
mean, now that episode 9 has wrapped on filming, he might need a hobby. But
there. Yeah.
there was a lot of weird tweets coming from him, and a lot of people thought that it might be some spoilers to the title. Turns out it wasn't,
Nope. Turns out it was something else.
and he's going to be writing a book.
He's writing a book.
And I'm sure it's going to be interesting because he
course.
has spanned all 9 episodes.
All 9. It's fantastic.
So I'll be looking forward to that.
And he's done it in one of the most uncomfortable looking get-ups in the galaxy.
Yeah.
I didn't even... who fits into that?
I wonder if he walks like that now, unintentional.
Yeah,
just
just-
like he just.
Yeah.
Oops.
Well, it's a
yeah.
pretty thin outfit too. So he stayed pretty fit over
No.
over the last 40 years.
Guy's
Good,
been
good
working
on
on
him.
Yeah. Good job, Anthony.
All right, I thought it might be fun too in the news section to hit on a few fan theories about what episode 9 could have in it, and this could be anything from likely to pretty unlikely, but I think they're all pretty fun.
No, I think we should do this. I think we should quick hit these. We got one apiece, right? We got
Yeah.
producer Trev in
3.
the house.
We got
Right,
3.
I'm here.
One apiece.
Yep.
So we're gonna quick hit our fan theories here.
Quick hit him and then
Yeah, just
talk
go
it out.
through them. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So Andy, what do we got? What's number 1?
Number 1. This was deep.
Ooh.
This
little
was deep.
deep.
This is
Yeah,
deep.
yeah,
This was
yeah.
deep. This was, and I read it from @WarpCore Cami. All right, this credit goes to Warp Core Cami. I thought it was a great idea, just because we have very little. What we thought we were going to get some knowledge about Rey and her past and her parents and where she's from and who she is. We really haven't gotten that. And we've gotten she's a nobody. Junk traders sold her for booze. And while many people are disappointed with that,
that's a bait and switch.
Yeah,
That's a bait and switch, baby.
Right.
So
Take it away.
What at Warp Core Cammy thought that Rey is a Palpatine contingency plan / invention that could possibly be a Skywalker clone, whether it be Luke or Anakin, just so that they could tag her as a Skywalker entity, but not really. And and as a contingency for Palpatine in the old canon, Palpatine had backups to Darth Vader. He had backups to backups to backups, and that's why in the movies the Death Star 2, the second Death Star in Return of the Jedi, popped up so quickly because
It's already being built.
they had another one being built off in the outer regions somewhere. And so, like,
What's better than one Death Star?
2 Death Stars? So, contingency plan after contingency plan, Palpatine left no stone unturned. And so, Rey was a plant, right? Whether she's a clone or not.
So let's go with the clone. Hold on.
Okay.
So is that like Vader's
clone?
fingernail? Wait, no. Toenail? No. Hair? No. Must have been like a mouth swab. Can you
Like
imagine
a
the
cheek?
Emperor? It's like, open your mouth. Accept the swab.
Oh, boy.
That's a good.
It's not bad. It's
You
not
know,
bad.
you've been staring at your autographed Palpatine.
Hey. We'll talk about that in the what have you gotten lately?
Okay. All right.
All right.
Well, I thought we teased that. Anyway,
We did.
And so as a contingency plan, he stashed her away on Jakku where nobody's looking for anything, and her air quotes family, the junk traders, were actually the ones that activate her and
So she's like raise a sleeper cell.
Exactly. But for the Force. And so that awakening that Snoke is talking about in the beginning of episode 7, there's been an awakening.
Oh, that's a cool
That
theory.
wasn't a very good Snoke.
Nah, you're fine.
impersonation. But anyway,
No, you did pretty
Who
good.
even knows what
You
Snoke
really-
sounds like?
you really had a
at
deep
this
voice
point,
there.
yeah, Andy Serkis can eat my shorts. But as she awakens, she's activated.
The Force Awakens.
Yeah, exactly. It all ties in, and so,
You got to make some sense of it.
but with no Palpatine, nobody knows she's there. Essentially,
No.
Like Snoke, I doubt if he would know.
Because he died. So let's say he dies, and there's no activation going on.
Right, or she
it's a
does get
natural
activated,
progression?
and it's just natural. Yes, it's natural, and she isn't influenced by Sith. She isn't influenced by Jedi. Like she says, there's something has always been there. She wants somebody to tell her where she fits in this world.
Okay.
Okay, so she is just an awakened sleeper cell for the Force, contingency plan by the Emperor that is just out there now.
I love this Warp
are
Core
we-
Cammy guy.
Are
That's
we
a
digging
great
into
thought.
this, or are we moving on? 'Cause
I think
Okay,
Wow.
on a
Where
scale
does
of
it
1
go
to
from
10,
there?
on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely do you think that could be?
it's a 1, but because they're not that
Now,
creative.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now wait a minute.
Warp Core is
All right.
way more creative than that.
So we all agree that it is a tantalizing.
It's awesome.
Okay. So on a scale
Is
of 1 to 10,
Palpatine-
on how bad we would like this to be true,
If they were able,
It's about a-
10. A 9, because if they were able to pull in the genius of Palpatine, which
that's
is
what I'm saying. Is he capable of doing it?
he's totally capable.
yeah.
yes, he
right?
was.
He's done it left and right.
He fooled all of the Jedi, not 1 or 2 of them, all of
Well, in the new comics
Order
about Vader,
66.
the new Vader comics are all about Palpatine just manipulating the heck out of Vader. He's got contingency plans for Vader left and right.
Right.
He's
Yes.
got other apprentices on the uprise. I mean, we've already been through the Star Killer and the Force Unleashed. I don't know if that's canon or not. Did they throw that out?
them. I don't think it is. I think
Yeah.
it's part of the old stuff.
Anyway, but I mean, Palpatine is definitely a spider.
Yeah. So shout out to at Warp Core
Yeah,
Cammy.
cool
That was
thi-
great.
Oh, it's fun.
Great
Gives
idea.
me goosebumps thinking about that. Right.
All
All
right.
right. So next,
Chilling.
we're gonna hand it over to you, producer Trev.
Okay.
So what's your theory,
So
or the theory that we
I'm just
saw
going to
out
throw
there?
it out there, and then let's talk about it. Let's think. Is Mace Windu dead?
No.
Is he dead?
I don't want him to be dead.
I know. Let's think about it. We need a purple lightsaber, right?
So you
Is
know
he
how
dead?
you know how at the end of Rogue One there's the alarm and all of a sudden a red lightsaber ignites, and everybody kind of
Right.
loses their minds.
There it is.
Think about that in purple.
Yes.
Oh, just a dark back, and then he's like, "I'm back, mother."
Do it.
You know, I can't. I can't.
yeah.
We don't have the E.
Maybe a little Pulp Fiction kind of thing in there.
Oh man, he's got some battle scars.
Say what again? Say what?
Look, we already established. I mean, what like we were talking about? Anakin jumped out of a moving vehicle on Coruscant and
Right.
flew through the air and grabbed another one. I mean, what Mace? Yeah, he got a couple shocks. He got a little force push. But he gets his wits together about 400
On the
feet
way
down.
down. Yeah.
And he grabs
Wait a
himself.
minute.
He's like, "This is my car," and he takes it and he's like, "I'm going to go hide for a bit."
Yeah, because obviously he figures out Order 66 underway, and so
Yep.
I gotta go chill for a little bit and not get wiped out like the rest of my
Can you
compadres.
imagine? Now-
Can you imagine? What if he shows up?
Oh man,
What if he shows up?
there would
And
be,
I like Josh's idea.
There would
What
be
if he
people-
shows up?
lose their minds.
Completely black room,
Oh yeah,
totally silent,
just
and then all of a sudden, all you see is a purple glow. And then he comes with. I mean, he's got to have a tagline of some sort.
something. We just can't.
Yeah.
I mean, Samuel L.
Who knows
He'll
what it-
figure that
right,
out.
he'll-
He's like,
he'll
"You
do that."
Don't. I'll figure this
Right.
out.
Yeah, I got the tagline. All you got to do is put the
Samuel L.
purple
writes
in.
his own tagline.
Yeah.
He's like, no.
It's in his contract.
So I like that one. That's
I
a
like
good
it.
one. Trev.
I would be so pumped if that were the case.
And he's a
again,
big deal.
Again,
He just hasn't been made a big
Well,
deal
have they
yet.
brought the prequels into the sequels yet? In any way? I'm sorry. I was thinking about. I forgot to really think about that until just now. But
That's
no,
a good
I don't
question.
Have
think
they?
so. I don't think so.
no, we haven't had any like crossover.
Well, I guess with Solo, they had Maul in there.
Yeah,
But
Yeah,
that's,
no, but not in the
that's a pretty
sequels, though.
far
Not
fetched.
in the
Yeah, not in the
sequels.
sequels.
So anyway, that would be a cool drawback to
yeah.
the
Yeah.
prequels.
I'd be so.
It'd be the
fired
coolest
up.
drawback.
Oh,
Can you
man.
imagine? And then Billy D. Lando comes out next to him. He's like, "That's right," and they just kick ass.
What
the
do
greatest
we
thing
have here?
It'd be the greatest thing
man.
ever. Those two classy
be good.
guys just going at it. All right.
There you go.
So good
okay,
theory.
Josh. What do you
All
think?
right.
Oh,
What do you got?
wait. Do you think
Oh.
he'd have white hair like he did in Django?
Oh, he's got to be older.
No,
He's gotta
no,
be
he
older.
keeps
No,
it
he-
clean,
he's
high
keeping-
and
he's
tight,
kept it
high
clean.
and tight.
Gray
for Mace.
beard,
High
gray
and
beard.
tight. Nope, he's
Yeah,
gonna have a
he's
couple
gonna have
scars.
a gray beard.
He's gonna have a couple. He's gonna have a couple scars from the fall. He's fine. He got
No,
a
he's
little
so-
muffler burn,
Love that
Muffler burn.
idea, Trev.
He's got a muffler burn on his face, but he's back.
but he's back.
All right, Josh. What's your fan theory?
All right,
that you,
I feel like mine's the lesser of the three.
No,
so
no. Don't play down. What do you got?
Now, by the way, these are our theories. These are theories grabbed from the different sites. And the one that really caught my eye, and I actually grabbed it and was like, hang on, was a really kind of ridiculous picture.
You know what though? This of the three is the one that actually could be.
Yep.
It's a ridiculous picture.
I hope so, because
It's a ridiculous. Yeah, I'm going to
ahead.
tell it before you get
Can I-
excited.
can I say
No,
what you're
it's
gonna
my thing. It's a ridiculous picture of the top half of Snoke, in all his glory, attached to like a three-legged spider, like kind of a I don't know, a droideka type looking
Yeah.
base. And I was like, oh, that's dumb. That's kind of stealing the mall. Wait a minute.
Hold on.
History
Who else
repeats
has been?
itself.
Who else has been cut in half and come back? So I was like, well, hold on. So this led to further, which you already mentioned, further questions about all the things. Think about all the things everyone's complaining about Last Jedi. We didn't know Snoke. I mean, he was nobody. He was all that stuff. What
there and
if
gone.
he's back? And it's like, oh, you want to know
Answers.
Snoke?
Answers.
Oh, and by the way, per your thing, which was like, Rey's parents are nobody. What a waste. It's like, oh, hold on. It's like the bait and the switch. So at this point, if Snoke returns, I think
That would be a big reveal.
boy.
I think
How would they do it, Andy?
that's how you tie the franchise in, because you're like, look, how can Last Jedi stand by itself any longer? Because what if Abrams comes in and does a complete another 180, from Ryan's, and now we have and so you'll always have this middle point that just it was its own movie.
We call
but
that-
if it connects,
Discontiguous.
whew, yeah, those are big words.
Thank
but
you.
if it connects.
I don't know what that means.
I don't either. I'm looking it up right now. But some picture of Snoke and some spider legs. Sorry, I got distracted.
The answer is a photo of Snoke.
So very cool fan theory there, which I was just kind of leapt on. I was like, holy crap! Think about this. Like, I don't think he's going to be on spider legs, but what if What if a Praetorian? I always say that wrong.
Praetorian
guard grabs both of Snoke's halves and just
Just
jumps
drags him
out the
out.
window or something. I don't know. Put him in a back to tank real quick and get him freshened up.
Because Snoke came out of nowhere. No answers.
Well,
no
and
nothing.
he left out of nowhere.
And he left out of nowhere. We need some answers.
I feel like Snoke will either be back or you're going to see the Knights of Ren fill in the gap of where that bad guy element.
Which could mean that they bring him back and give him some validity, and like give him a name. If they come back in the name of Snoke too, Knights of Ren come back and they're also supporting, I don't know, Snoke's agenda. I don't know.
Yeah.
I made that up.
And,
Sorry.
And this kind of leads off of this a little bit. I watched basically they were talking about the creation of this movie, and they're saying that it was too tongue in cheek, and then it would get serious too quick, and then it would get tongue in cheek.
And that's Last Jedi, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it would get, and that's what the issues were that people had, is that it would be too funny, too serious, too funny, and they were going back and forth too much. And looking back at it, I have to say I think that's kind of one of the complaints. But in the big picture of it, what do you guys think? Do you think it was too
Star
much,
Wars
or
has
is
always
that-
been goofy.
right?
Star Wars has always goofy.
And Luke's never been funny either.
They love their fun. They love their fun.
Right.
But I'll just say this: we still have a lot coming up.
Oh yeah.
We got a
Yeah.
lot. There it is.
Reckless speculation is always a fun thing to do. Well, we're trying something new here on the pod today.
Incoming transmission.
We put out to the Twitterverse if there was any questions, collector related or Star Wars related, that you wanted to ask Josh or I, to fire up a question for us. And we got actually a response to a question from last week's podcast regarding balance to the Force.
Yeah.
Was that
Chris, that was on Facebook. Chris Anderson, right?
Is that about the gray?
Well, that was a question from Twitter, and Chris is a guy that you know, Josh.
Oh, I don't know him at all. But
No?
wait, I know of him.
Yeah, he was
That's a
was
shout out,
asking.
Chris.
He was shout out, Chris.
There's a really
Anderson.
good shout out for you. No, I don't know that guy. Anyway, what's up, Chris?
Hey, we love you.
No, it's better than saying.
No,
knows
I
your
know.
wife.
I know Evan. Yeah, I know Evan. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, he had some thoughts about gray Jedis, and we feel that there is a push towards gray Jedi.
Yeah, I think Chris was going through some of our previous pods because we've talked about it. In particular, I kind of brought it up, and his question was really good because it goes back to Qui-Gon. He's like, "Hey, was Qui-Gon? Do you think that Qui-Gon was kind of aiming towards the gray based on, some of his actions?" And I would tend to agree with that, right?
Yeah.
You and I talked about it.
Well, Qui-Gon was a bit of a controversial Jedi in that he was asked to be on the council. He turned it down. He wasn't down with everything that was going on with the Jedi, and maybe had he not been, harpooned by Maul, maybe he could have sniffed out some of the Emperor's plans a little sooner, because he was a little unconventional in the way he went about the Force and what it meant and how it influenced us.
And he was also a big proponent, obviously, by identifying Anakin of a chosen one, which wasn't just his theory, but it was one. It was a lore.
Right. Not
he
everybody
understood.
believed in the
Right.
in the mythology of a chosen
Right.
one needing to bring balance to the Force.
Balance to the Force. So, what is balancing of the Force?
So I'm
It's got
glad
to be black and white. So the balance in the middle, for lack of a better term, would be gray. So
somewhere
Deep.
somewhere in between. And
Deep.
so I'm glad you brought that up, because at Squad 2 Rogue, he kind of answered a question that we asked last week, like, what does it mean to bring balance to the Force?
Right.
Like, what does that idea actually mean? Because they don't really answer it. They bring it up like, you were the chosen one, you were supposed to bring balance to the Force. That was Anakin, but we don't really know exactly what that was supposed to mean. His response was, and let me read it here: as to the balance of the Force, I can see it as the Jedi were so deep into their belief system and then crossing into politics, security, and military that they may have lost focus as to what the Force truly is. Absence of emotions and connections can be just as blinding as hate. And
okay.
yeah, so I don't know. And
So I mean,
hate and fear. Yeah, sorry.
basically what they're saying is, there's always change going on, and no matter, and whoever's in power is struggling against the pulls of this or that, and the Sith may be considered, or the dark side may be considered dark because of the things and the actions they do, but the Jedi can also go down the wrong path, obviously, where they were blind to their own demise, really. And
well, I think a lot of policies, and you see this throughout history, policies of the Jedi probably no different in that, rules were made that they weren't allowed to marry, and that really showing emotion was kind of poo-pooed upon because you're getting too involved. You're letting your emotions overtake your common sense, and really they want you to be more like Spock, ironically, than Kirk. If you want to take the Star Trek analogy, which
don't.
I think might be illegal.
That's
on
not
this.
illegal.
Yeah,
that's not legal.
all right. But anyway,
Okay, I'll edit that out.
but
Got it.
But that might have been, that might have been necessary at a time when people's, early on in the Jedi, like we're talking Old Republic, when maybe the Jedi, the rules for being a Jedi were still kind of being formulated, and maybe people were being just too impassioned with their use of the Force, and they were abusing it that way. So they kind of wanted to tighten it down, be more conservative. Hey, here's some rules now. Let's follow this, and then maybe they've just went too far that way. And
like any rules or let's say constitutions or anything, the interpretation of the writers, hundreds of years later, could be completely unrelated to the time. The times.
It's kind of monkish.
Yeah.
Like the monks. That's what it seems like to me. Like you got.
Well, and they get blinded by their own power too, right?
True.
Plus, you know what really happened is, look, they had a degradation in grammar. I mean, Yoda. Oh, let's go, buddy. Let's put a word in front of the other word the right way here, buddy. So I mean, it just seemed like they were falling apart. It just seemed like they were falling apart.
All right. Well, one other thing that we did within the last week was we put a poll up that a number of people voted on, that out of the new Resistance characters, out of Rey, Finn, Poe, and BB-8,
okay,
the
Who
four
is it?
beloved new characters, which one do you think would die or not make it? And overwhelmingly, Poe was the most voted upon there.
For lack of another choice, I think they all make it. Sorry.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, the question is, you can only pick one, and none of them was not a choice. So, here's why I think
Put Rose in there.
No, they won't let that.
She wasn't a
Just kill
main.
her off.
She wasn't one of the main.
They
ones.
won't
I
let
just
that.
I wanted.
Kill her off.
I thought
won't.
BB-8 was more of a main character than Rose, but because he's been in both, and Rose has only been in one. Anyway,
But Rose, and everyone wants Rose.
And everybody wants her to go.
So they won't give them that.
there's a contingency out there that wants Rose.
I
out.
don't. Good job, Rose.
But out of the new characters, here's why I think Poe will be the one who doesn't make it.
Do you think he's gone?
No, I don't. But here's why. Here's how you could see very easily Poe not making it through the end of this movie. Okay. It doesn't get addressed in Episode 8. And it's one of my kind of annoyances. But Poe's irrational decision to send Finn and Rose to the casino world actually gets, in a roundabout way, most of the Resistance killed. Okay, this doesn't get addressed.
A lot of bombers are killed.
This doesn't get addressed.
A lot of people all the way.
It doesn't get addressed in that movie, but it could in the next movie. And upon realizing the brashness and the impulsiveness of his decision, he goes inward and he's like, crap. And so the only way he feels like he can remain a part of the Resistance is by saving the Resistance. And that would, I could see him, because he is the way he is, doing something brash, like saving somebody at his own expense, like doing something incredibly brave and courageous, and just goes and does it without thinking, because he wants to redeem himself, right? In the Resistance eyes. And then in that act of heroism, he actually bites the dust. So I actually think that is plausible. I think that could happen. Now, here's why I don't think that. Because
They love Poe.
Everybody loves
Poe's
Poe.
Han. Poe's
He's
the
in
new
Resistance.
Han.
Well,
Poe is
yeah,
the new
and
Han.
he's got a big role in Resistance, which has been extremely popular. And I feel like they're propping him up to take over
Right. He's the
for
new
Leia.
Han. He is
For Leia.
Oh,
in the
new
Resistance.
Leia.
He's the
Like a
one.
General Poe.
Ooh.
Like, yeah. So he's now see.
True.
Here's the other
see
way.
that.
His rash decisions could end up later on making him a better leader because he can't be
course.
impulsive.
Sure.
You know, he learns
Yeah.
from his mistakes in episode 8 and those costly mistakes, and costly meaning lives, actually ends up preparing him to be a better leader than he would have been otherwise.
Ooh,
And
I
so
like that.
we know that we're going to lose Leia. Holdo's already gone.
How do you know that?
Sorry, you just stymied me there for a second. And so
Let's not jump to
Much-
conclusions.
Wait a
much
minute.
like the First Order is a little bit like a snake with its head cut off. Like, we believe Kylo to be the guy that's going to take over the New Order, but
Spider Snoke.
there with a possible Spider Snoke thrown in. But like, so to replace that leadership, you know, I could see very easily that Poe is the guy who's being
I could
propped
too,
up
and
to take
He
that.
get
takes
it.
the
I
mantle.
get it.
It's like when we went from Empire to Jedi. All of a sudden, Lando's got a cape and
He's a
jet-
general,
Like
yeah.
he went from scoundrel / gangster /
Card player.
Yeah, he's
Swindler.
He's swindler. He's I'm running a mining operation. Yeah, you are.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, you are. All
No
right?
taxes.
What's Lobot doing?
He's a
I-
drug dealer.
I don't know what's going on there. The guy's got stuff going on. And then he's like a general. So I think you could see that which bears another question, which maybe we should save for later, but is like, how much time is going to pass between 8 and 9? How many years? Because we had 3 years
Right.
between Jedi and Empire, and all the stuff in between. But anyway, I like that theory. I'll just give my quick plug on who I think won't make it.
Out of
those four.
Out of
though.
those four.
Out of those
or-
four.
there's-
Out of those four.
A lot of people we
Okay.
want to kill, but we can't.
I'm just gonna say, like, BB's not going anywhere.
BB's
Droids
there.
don't die.
right.
Droids don't die.
No, stop it.
Come on. 3PO got chopped up in Empire. He's back. He's fine. Droids
fixed
droids
him.
can't die.
Right. They can be fixed.
They can be totally fixed. So droids don't. BB's fine.
Unless you're L7.
Finn, they already tried to off and then got saved.
Yeah.
So I was like, you can't do that twice,
Damn
right?
Rose.
And then Rey.
Rey's not.
No.
Oh, although that would be
Like,
a huge,
That would be
Twist.
massive. I don't know how they could do that.
huge.
I mean, Rey. How does she fit in? I mean, she saves.
She's-
I mean, we didn't have Kylo in there, right?
I don't
Han
know.
Killer. We
No.
didn't have Kylo in there, did
We
we?
didn't.
Kylo.
I dropped a plug.
No, we didn't. We didn't have Kylo in that. Maybe, and we can put another poll up. This
So let's
week,
let's
right?
let's
Yeah,
let's,
do it. Let's maybe another.
let's shelf this. All right,
Okay.
Rey's not going anywhere. I think that the poll needs. So we've eliminated Poe, so he can't be part of the next poll.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, Poe's dead. Congrats, Poe. You're dead. You're not dead. You're gonna live. I'll put money on that.
Okay, so shelve it for now.
So hang on. Hey,
and see
just
where
let's
we
go
go.
around the table real quick. Trevor, do you think all of those people make it, including the robot?
BB-8 is his name.
I think all of those people make it.
Josh,
Okay.
do you think all of
I
those
do.
people make it?
Easy.
Okay.
How about you?
In my heart of hearts.
Do you not if you want them to?
No, no, no.
Do you
Your
think they
heart
will?
in my heart of hearts.
right, he's getting emotional.
I think they all make it.
There you go. All right.
All right. Hey.
Show me your collection.
Hey.
All right. Our let's see, is it 4th or 5th? Show me your collection. Hashtag show me your collection. Featured Twitter follower is at Hampton Hotard. Hotard.
HOTARD.
Yes.
Hampton.
And Hampton is a guy who's a college student
I love that.
Going
I
to-
love
so
that.
much.
to
I
the
do.
University of Georgia. Go Bulldogs. And
Wow.
So he's eating top ramen and
Yes.
buying Black Series.
so what
I love it.
is funny in our message correspondence back and forth, he was like, well, I don't have a ton of stuff because I'm in college, and any extra
love
money
it.
that I have goes to paying rent and food.
Sure.
Right,
And
right.
like
That a boy.
who hasn't been there, man? Like,
Well, I told the story that like I spent $30 on a carded Vader 25 years ago, and it was like I didn't eat that week for that. I mean, think about inflation. That was like $100. It was crazy.
yeah, way back in '98.
Way back in '98.
That was 20 years ago, Josh.
Shut up.
So this is awesome too. Not only do we have like a younger, new collector guy, but he also happened to be our 200th follower.
Look
200
at that. And this ain't a joke. This is real.
This is absolutely real. And if you recall in previous podcasts, when we were approaching our 100th follower, we wanted to send out some like
Good
some,
Lord.
Recall 3 podcasts.
Let us bless you guys. Let us bless you.
yes. And so I tried to reach out to our 100th follower, to our 99th follower, and our 101st follower, just like, hey, we want to send you some free stuff, and we got no's, or we didn't
No,
get
we
responses.
don't know you. Stranger danger. We
Yeah.
got stranger danger,
Which
which
is
is fine.
Well, we were too
absolutely
new.
fine.
So,
We're too new.
for all you Twitterers out there, the difference between 100 and 200 followers is you can get addresses.
Yeah. And so
We can send you stuff.
I was like, hey, Hampton, you're our 200th follower. Congrats. Can we send you a little something, just to say thanks? He's like, heck yes. Which
Here's my address.
yeah. And it was like instant. And I thought that was awesome and hilarious because he's a broke college kid. Yes, he wants free stuff.
Put some cookies in there, too.
Right?
We should
Yes,
put some cookies.
we should.
We could put some
Send
top
some-
ramen and cookies.
Put together a care package for this guy.
Love it.
Love
Food kit.
Here you
Oh,
go.
man. That just gave me a good idea.
There it is. Write it down.
So Hampton, if you look at our Twitter page and you actually look up hashtag Show Me Your Collection, he had a few shelves of some Black Series stuff. It was
It was a good collection.
yeah, it was mostly
I liked it.
mostly new stuff.
It is.
It was
I like it
It's a
because you can
college
tell that
student's
somebody's like,
collection.
hey, man, I'm doing whatever I can.
Yes.
I'm walking
Yeah.
by, and when I have that extra $20, I'm grabbing that. And it might be a month before I grab the next one. I love it.
But he has some cool stuff.
yeah,
I
he had
mean,
a Peter Mayhew autograph.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I saw that
my
in
You
there.
boy.
could tell he splurged. Like
Yeah.
he didn't
Oh, yeah,
eat
yeah.
for a week.
Yeah.
And he got some Star Wars toys.
Or maybe that's what he asked for Christmas.
Or there you go. There you go.
doesn't- yeah.
He's got some.
We can't leave out
some
grandma.
He's got good
helpful
taste.
Family.
Can't leave out grandma.
Got good taste. So thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Hampton.
Good work.
Thank you for being our 200th follower, and we got a care package coming for.
We do, and it's a good one.
it'll-
Good job.
yeah.
I'm
Good
I'm impressed.
Andy,
You're
Andy,
lucky.
You put this together. Good work.
Easter eggs.
Let's do it.
All right, Easter egg discussion. Remember, Easter eggs can be things in the Star Wars movies that nod to other movies, or it can be reversed. Other movies outside of the Star Wars realms that nod to Star Wars.
Roger
and
that.
this one goes back to the 70s because a guy by the name of George Lucas.
Who?
You guys familiar? George?
By the way.
Oh, I don't know. I don't like follow producers.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well,
Well, there was
Anyway,
this
I'll
guy.
look him up.
There's
What was
this
his
guy,
name?
George Lucas. He happened to be buddies with another director called Francis Ford Coppola.
Who?
Have you guys
Just kidding. All right, that's enough.
Okay.
Yeah, too far. Too far.
Now, as it turns
One joke
out,
too many.
There's a lot of movies that tip the cap to Apocalypse Now, which is a Francis Ford Coppola creation
Vietnam.
specialty. Yeah, no, it was based off a book, but he put it to movie, and there's a lot of there's some back and forth in both actually. Nodding to Star Wars or nodding to George Lucas and then nodding to Apocalypse Now in the movies. And so this was one, Josh, that you brought up, and I thought it was great. It's quick. The connections between George Lucas and Francis Ford Coppola being friends. Harrison Ford plays a small role in Apocalypse Now.
Right.
And his name, Colonel G. Lucas.
No.
Colonel G. Lucas, sir.
It's just brief.
No.
It's on his little shirt there, and yeah, that was his.
And his
credit.
medals above that shirt are a square and a round circle and a triangle, right? I love the designations in Star Wars. Like, no. Let's keep it simple.
Hold on. You're a
Keep
square.
it. You're a 2 square.
Yeah,
You're a-
2
I'm a
square.
4
Wait a
square
minute.
general.
2 square to the left.
Wait, you've got a row of red squares on top of a row of blue squares.
Look at you. Hello, sir.
Yeah,
All right.
You
Big
must be
deal.
more important than
You
me.
are
That's a
big
good
deal.
egg.
Yeah,
I like that one.
yeah.
Good job.
If the next time you watch Apocalypse Now, be ready to see a.
Next time.
I know that one.
If you ever-
you gotta
You're gonna
get
have
ready
to go
for
back.
that one.
Yeah, you're gonna have to find the DVD
You gotta
or
prepare.
or record.
That's not
to watch
That's
that.
not a feel good movie.
It really is. It's
Yeah.
like a 2-parter. Even.
Like-
It's weird.
Once you get past to I like the smell of napalm in the morning. You know,
Oh,
dun, 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 dun. Like once you get past that, then it's a little bit gloomy.
It's
Yeah,
rough.
But keep your eyes open for a little Harrison Ford as Colonel G. Lucas.
G. Lucas.
Colonel G. Lucas,
I'm
sir.
excited about this.
Collector tip.
Every time.
Every time we laugh at that, we giggle.
All right, collector tip. There's a guy, Josh. You found this dude on eBay. You bought some things from him.
Yeah.
And it changed our collections.
It did.
I mean, it legitimately.
It upped our game.
Yeah, we were putting things on shelves and
We were using
bookcases.
built-in landing
Ooh,
gear.
I like this. I
And-
like this.
and once we hit up this guy who's an Australian native.
Put another shrimp on the
And the pop, hey.
Hey,
well, this one actually works this
Yeah,
time. Australian, not Austrian. Australian.
Yep.
It's a guy by the name. He goes by on eBay Zach Paris.
Zach Paris.
ZACPARIS. And what he does, and he's got like over 18,000.
Options.
No, not options, but like transactions.
Transactions. Right,
on
right.
on eBay, and 100% positive feedback.
And what is he selling, Andy?
He sells two things primarily. He sells vehicle stands. They're acrylic, clear,
Acrylic clear, yeah.
plastic, and they've got
Empire
Lasered
Rebel
on 'em.
designation.
Yes.
they're very cool. And on some of the vehicles, there's different ways you can pose them. Like
I gotta say, I bought a Y-wing. a Y-wing stand, which gave you three options: straight up or two options, like just a level. But it's. By the way, it's clear. It's about 4 inches off the ground, so I'm not putting it on landing gear.
We gotta
and
put
then
a
it's got a
picture up.
tilt. Well, the
I got
picture
some.
is up.
Okay.
Actually, the picture's up. If you look
Okay,
at the
good.
If you look close at our Facebook page, you'll see it there. But it gives it like about a 45-degree tilt to the left.
Yeah.
It looks like it's flying.
Which
yeah,
is sweet.
it's banking.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
It's
it's
cool.
banking.
banking, yeah.
They have a few poses for the B wings.
Yeah, the
You know,
B-wing
The B wing poses are pretty
is pretty
sweet.
That's
awesome.
a must. There's no way to mount the B wing or to display the B wing
No, you
without
just
one of
flop
these
it
stands.
down.
Yeah. He also
Vintage, by the way.
He also has stands for the Lego Star Wars vehicles, and he's not limited to just Star Wars. But that's
Yeah,
how
we're
we
plugging
found
this
him.
guy.
We are definitely
Good day,
plugging this.
mate.
We are plugging this dude. What he makes are great, and then I have bought also from him. He makes the die cut decals too.
Right.
If you need any sort of decals on any Star Wars playset, vehicle, whatever, the name tags for the cases, the figure cases, he makes those too, and they're awesome. They fit perfectly.
So he's just cutting it out of plastic, and it's just
No,
sweet.
he's making the stickers.
Stickers too.
Oh, the stickers,
labels.
too.
The,
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
the
okay.
decals.
Decals.
He does the decals, and he must have his own, his
Printing press.
printing press for.
It's Australian though, so it's upside down.
I'll tell you this: I'm a little behind on my.
I start from the
collecting.
right to the left, mate.
And mine I have kind of just standing. You know, you've got your X-wings where you just sit them on the ground and they're on their landing gear, and then Andy and Josh have them mounted up, and you can see them, and they're literally flying through the air. It is an impressive.
Yeah, the Falcon. The
oh,
Falcon,
it's
6
impressive
inches
feat.
off. It's rad.
It's got the symbols on it. It's worth it. The shipping is from
No,
Australia
it just takes a while.
Stinks. It just takes a little
it's
bit.
time, not cost.
Yeah,
it's good.
but it's fantastic. They
so
work.
our recommendation for any of you collectors
go ahead
out
and say
there,
that name again.
Zach Paris on eBay. I tried
stuff.
I tried quickly to find him on Twitter and other places, and I couldn't do it. But that's not to say he's not out there, but my quick search lacked.
High quality.
Very high quality. I dropped $100 and got like seven stands, plus the shipping, and it was the best $100 that I spent for my collection because it just brought another dimension to it.
It does.
And they're totally cool.
You're gonna stand out.
Zach Paris.
Thanks, Zach
Wow.
Paris. All right.
I think we're moving along. Any other news for the BMB out there?
Well, the last question I wanted to throw out to you guys, and then also to our followers and listeners, remember to check us out on iTunes. Subscribe to the podcast, Holochronicles Podcast. Remember to follow us on Instagram, Remember to follow us on Twitter. Remember to follow us on Facebook. We're out there.
Yeah, we love all the interaction too, man. It's made me a smarter Star Wars dude. Listen to you guys. It's so cool. I love it. I
Yes.
love
Having
it.
The
trouble-
interaction is the best part.
I'm having
love it.
trouble getting work done.
We really are.
I haven't done anything in
We've
weeks.
lost our jobs.
Maybe we should start a Patreon.
Yeah, we should. Maybe not.
No, this is free content
This is
for you
free.
guys. It's
This is
always
free.
gonna be free.
Yep.
Anyway, the question that I wanted to throw out to you guys and to our followers and listeners: if Rey takes the next step in her quest to become a Jedi, or at least an advanced Force user, and makes herself a lightsaber for Episode 9, what color do you think it's going to be?
She goes to a cave on Coruscant. She goes inside and she makes a purple saber.
Purple?
with
Oh,
mace.
purple.
He's like, take it. I'm just kidding.
I don't think there's any caves on Coruscant.
Yeah, no, it's citied out. A lot of skyscrapers.
I
would
like
go
the purple
with.
aspect. What do you do?
What if it's like blacklight? I don't know.
Like Darksaber?
Darksaber? No. I would actually, if they paid homage to the bright green from Jedi, I'm fine with that. Or really Yoda, I mean, all of that. But I don't know. Pink.
That's
Nah,
kind of
that'd be dumb.
That's kind of what they built up to, right? The homage.
I don't
I mean,
know.
a little bit of it.
They're
But then-
really trying to ditch the old.
Yeah.
They're trying to move on.
I don't know.
So
They
it's-
are, but they do throw a lot of parallels in the movies from A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. You see some mirrors in The Force Awakens and
Yeah.
The Last Jedi. Even in Return of the Jedi, there's some stuff.
Well, there's a whole theory. Well, not theory. There's a whole speculation about. She's got her staff and that picture of them hugging. I mean, does she even make it, or does she just steal
Yeah.
Kylo's? And
So this question is
I don't know.
this question
Yeah,
is based on the premise that
does she make one that has 4 hilts in all directions?
It's
No.
got one going
There-
out the bottom
no.
top
Everyone
left.
Just everywhere.
So the reason, so she could parallel Luke in that she held the blue saber first.
Right.
And, Luke lost the blue saber when it was cut from his hand,
Yeah.
right?
He's just
And
so
so-
irresponsible.
and Rey loses the blue saber, the same one, in fact, when
They break
she
it in half.
and she and Kylo break it in half. And so you think that, well, it's broken. Can you fix that? Did she even grab the parts to it?
No.
but
Well,
Yeah.
did
here's
they grab
Yeah.
the parts to Snoke? Sorry. Call
so
back.
she's got she's
holding
got the
Snoke's alive.
the Jedi books, right? I would have to assume in one of those books there's how to make a lightsaber in it.
Yeah, for dummies.
Yeah, that's number
Yeah,
one.
building
That's
lightsabers
book
for
number
dummies.
one.
Chapter
Without
chapter
it-
book 1 chapter
Without
1.
it, you're kind of not a
Crystal,
Jedi.
you must get.
So they could go back to Jeddah, which is
Oh, I heard.
Okay. and grab a
like
crystal
that.
from there, or they could go to Tatooine, or
I think they're going back to Tatooine. I like that theory.
So anyway,
I hope Tatooine.
this question is all based off of the presumption that she's going to build her own lightsaber. So I think because she, in an inadvertent way, is paralleling some of what Luke did, it
She's
will be
gonna run
green.
away and
It's
hide.
going to be green.
Green. See? Oh, see. Yeah. All right.
I think it's going to be green. There, I'm
Okay.
saying it. I'm saying it. It's green.
I like it.
like Jedi green.
Yeah, like,
Well-
now I know what I'm doing with this thing, and so I am advanced enough in my abilities to create my own lightsaber.
Yeah.
Just like Luke did, even though that was a cutscene in Return of the Jedi. Did you know that? It was a cutscene. There was actually a scene of him putting together the last piece of his...
Crystal and the.
yeah,
Really?
he's putting
Oh,
together
didn't know that.
his lightsaber, and he's like... And then he's like in a little cave, and then he kind of walks out.
Sure. The
But
only
it was a
place to build a
cutscene.
saber is in a cave.
Yeah, I mean,
have
where
to
else
in
are you
a
going to do
cave.
it? But anyway, I think it's going to be green, just to kind of
You know, I got to be
Symbolize-
honest, never thought about it. So I appreciate
I hadn't
that.
either, but
Now I'm
that's-
thinking about it.
That's deep. I like that.
I mean, how many colors are there?
there's purple,
Well, for-
green, blue, yellow, and black. There was only one black
and
one.
red.
That
for
was
good
kinda-
side.
and right.
Well, but
there's
you're going-
red
Yeah.
for the
But
bad
if we're
side.
going
Bad
to balance the force,
blue and red make purple.
Mace is back.
So it's purple.
Step aside, young lady.
Oh, brother.
Mace is back. All right. Well, that's a good thought. You guys can all think about that. We'd love to hear your thoughts on Twitter. Let us know what you thought about the pod. Give us any questions. We love all the interaction. Holy cow. It keeps me going. I know it keeps Andy going.
I
Good.
love it.
Yeah, he's losing sleep.
It's starting to live up on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Keep it coming.
Yeah, we love it. We
What
love
color?
it.
What color will Rey's lightsaber?
What
be?
color? What color will Rey's lightsaber be? Well, that's it for us, right?
We're
We're good.
That's it.
Hey, thanks. Check us out, and we love you guys, and can't wait to talk to you guys soon. And
Shout out to the BMB.
Keep
Blue
your
Milk
eyes
Brigade.
peeled on Instagram, Facebook. Things are changing.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
No Jedi here anymore. Only dreamers like this one.